Hello and welcome to Booze Podcast. I'm Sam.
And I'm Ollie.
And welcome back. So for you guys, it's only been a week, but I haven't seen Ollie in like 3 weeks.
It's been a while.
Yeah, so we might be a little rusty. We got to get back into it. But
Yes. But it feels good. It feels good to be back behind this little screen.
I missed it. I missed it big time.
I know,
so
I did too.
I had all these stories sitting there, and I'm like, okay, like, I can't wait to talk about them.
I know, I need to start a little notebook with like things that I want to tell Sam.
Right?
And just save them until for today, for recording days.
Yeah. So did you want to tell everyone where you disappeared off to?
Yeah, so I decided to pack up my bags and get the hell out of here for a few weeks. No, this was totally planned. I have some friends who are getting married in Germany, or they're from Germany, so it wasn't a destination wedding, no. I don't have friends who torture me like that. So we went to, me and Gabriel, I always have to think about it because there were so many places packed into so little time. We're only gone for about 2 solid weeks. We flew into London. We went to Amsterdam for 2 days.
Got very high, I'm sure.
Oh my God, I do not like getting high. Like, let me tell you, like, I'm a booze girl.
Yes.
I can just drink my pints and be happy. But I was like, well, when in Rome, right? It's
Might as
legal
well.
here. I don't like smoking, but I like eating everything, as you can tell. So Gabriel bought me this delicious red velvet cake.
Oh my gosh.
It was beautiful. It was like wrapped in a gold little box, and it was really cute because it had a little window on it too. You know, kind of like the red light district.
Yeah.
Peeking into that sexiness.
This is bringing tears to my eyes. Like, how could you eat this? It sounds beautiful.
I know. It brought tears to my eyes eating it. It was so good. But I knew better. From experience, I was like, you know what? I don't have a high tolerance. Not like I do with alcohol. I'm just going to eat a little bit. Like a little corner. So I didn't. Oh, it was so good. I could have had the whole thing. But I'm like, nope. I'm going to be good. So I just had a corner. And we went to eat after. And Gabriel's like, hey, are you feeling anything? Like, are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? I'm like, no, I'm not. So maybe I should take a few more bites.
Oh, no.
Right when that happened, bam, it hit me.
Hard.
Like, it was, I hate the feeling of not being in control. Like, I just wanted to, like, scratch it off. I'm like, ugh.
You feel like a sloth. Like,
yeah.
I don't like it either. It's not my thing.
Slow motion, like, there's just, like, certain things you're paying attention to. And for me, it was, like, that panicky, like, anxiousness. It was like, I feel like I'm smiling and I feel like it looks weird. I'm like, I feel like everyone around me knows that I'm extremely high and I can't get rid of it. And then what made it worse is we had a boat ride after.
Oh dear.
Like down the canals, and I just wanted to enjoy it all and take it all in, but I was just like so fuzzy. And there was a point on the boat ride where I looked at Gabriel and I remember saying, are we at the Riverwalk? We were both so quiet. Like, we didn't say a word the whole time.
Goodness.
And on the boat, there was, like, an open bar. There was bottles of wine and everything you can imagine was on that boat.
That sounds wonderful.
It was. If I wasn't, like, so high, like...
You fucked up.
I did. I regret that. Even getting on the boat, the guy was like, you look
okay?
fucked up. Like, he told Gabriel, you look fucked up. I know, it's so embarrassing, but I survived. I was even Googling, like, how to get rid of being high.
Oh, no.
But, yeah, Amsterdam was fun. We didn't do anything artsy. We didn't see any of the museums, because I did that last time I was there, and Gabriel really doesn't care. What else? Amsterdam, we went to Germany, but we didn't go to, like, the touristy part. We went to Dusseldorf, or not Dusseldorf. I keep saying it's Dusseldorf, but it's Loon. And it's kind of out on the outskirts, which was really nice. We had so much fun. Like, everyone was amazing. We were in a place where not everyone spoke English. So,
that's
that
fun.
was a challenge, but it was good. It was really nice. There's this cheers saying, this like little chant that's in German because it rhymes. And, before they take a shot, they say it. But all of our friends learned it in English for us.
Aww,
it was so sweet.
That is adorable. So what's the saying? What?
I don't know it in German.
I wasn't expecting you to know it, but
dang it, I should have.
I was hoping you would surprise me.
I'm just gonna like record it and just like drop it in here. You're totally gonna tell. It's first rule. Like one person says first rule, and then everyone says get drunk. And second rule, stay drunk. And then third rule is first rule. So, but in German it sounds more elegant, I guess. It rhymes.
It's cute though. It's
fun. It's fun because you say it every time you take a shot. So it's like the one thing you just kept on hearing over and over again.
That's awesome. That's so cool. I love hearing about like different like, I guess like I guess it would be called like a tradition, right? Like, or more of their culture. Like
like a fun party thing. I don't know. I like seeing how other people party.
Yes.
And they party hard.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'll have to show you some videos later.
Can't wait to see them.
But yeah, because of the wedding was great. It was like I had the best time. Like Gabriel and I, when we went to our hotel, it was 4:00 in the morning, and we were drunk and we were crying because we didn't want to leave. And like when we said goodbye to like everyone there, it was the saddest goodbye.
Tears.
Like, tears. I was like hanging out of the taxi, like waving, like it was like a what is it? A romantic comedy, but totally platonic.
It's just raining. The rain's drizzling down the freaking window.
Yeah, it was good. And then we went to Paris, which Gabriel the whole time was like, fuck Paris. I don't want to go to Paris. Let's just stay here. I'm like, we tried, but we couldn't get out of it. Where we went to the catacombs.
And I'm so jealous. I want to go so bad.
I had to squeeze in something
spooky.
Boozy. Yeah. That was really cool because we got there at the end of the day, so it felt like we were alone down there.
That's creepy.
Because we got down, we go through like this tunnel for a while. You keep walking and walking, and I guess all the other people were already at the end. So there was this point where I was just alone in the tunnel.
Oh man,
it was so eerie, but like calming also.
Yeah,
and it was like I took a ton of pictures, so
you sent them to me and I was like, you bitch, like I want to be there.
That was literally the only reason I went to Paris. Like I don't care about anything else, just that's been on my bucket list for as long as I can remember. And I remember always thinking like, oh, I'm never gonna get to go, like thinking that it was like closed off for some reason, but it's not. It's open to the public. And I get so mad because the rules are, no flash photography, like, I'm a stickler for the rules when it comes to places like that.
And people were breaking them?
Yeah, it's like people are, like, touching the skulls and leaning on them, and I'm like, excuse me.
That's a person, you bitch.
Can you step away?
They don't have it, like, gated, like, with roped or anything?
No, they don't.
Oh.
It's a little narrow, so if there are a lot of people down there, I could see where it's easy to kind of graze one.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, they don't. You would think that they could put like a glass or something, but I guess that would ruin the experience too.
That's true.
Like they just kind of trust that people will act right, but that's a lot of trust.
Yeah, I don't even have that much trust in
a
lot of people's.
Like in regular everyday places that aren't covered in millions of skulls and skeletons.
And you brought me back the cutest little fucking book. It's a magnet, and it's got all these skulls in here. I love it so much.
Little picture book. Yeah, I was like trying to like walk fast, but like still enjoy everything so I can get to the gift shop. I was like, oh, it's gonna close. But no, it did not, thankfully. Let's see, what else did I do? We went to Portugal, which I was trying really hard to go to the Cathedral of Bones, but it was like almost 3 hours away.
Oh, that's far.
Yeah. Next time for sure.
Definitely. And maybe next time I'll go with you.
Yeah, so Portugal is a must-go place. Like, it's inexpensive. It's beautiful. When we went, it wasn't crowded. It was the best time. Portugal and Germany were, like, our top places. Then we went to London, and, like, everything went to shit from there. We were having such a good time, and we went to a pub just to have a pint before we went to our Airbnb, and these guys come in.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, with like signs acting like they're deaf. So if you're not a seasoned traveler and people do this, grab your stuff. Or actually, whenever you're out traveling, especially in London or big cities, just don't have your phone out. Like, just enjoy the conversation, put it in your pocket, don't take it out. But prior to them walking in, Gabriel looks at the sign and he says, "Oh, look at that sign. It says, watch your stuff. Burglaries are high here." Something like that.
Kind of like blowing it off a little bit.
No, he thought it was interesting that
Oh.
it's so high. Crime is so high in that area. They have a sign saying, "Watch out."
Gotcha.
Yeah, so he takes his phone out to take a picture, but before he does, these guys walk in.
Oh, no.
And they're not saying anything. They're motioning with their hands to read the sign. And when it comes to things like that, I just don't even make eye contact.
Yeah.
I grabbed my phone and I was just scrolling through Facebook, even though I didn't even have service. Nothing was popping up. I was just touching my phone. I'm like, please get away. And they wouldn't leave. So Gabriel told them, like, fuck off, like, get out of here, and, like, kind of, like, pushed one out of the way. Because their signs weren't, like, you couldn't read them. There was, like, a bunch of mumble jumble on it.
Yeah.
Which later we found out is a reason for that.
Mm-hmm.
So after they finally left, Gabriel's like, "Wow, babe, that's really smart that you put your phone away. It's a good thing you did, you know?" And he looked at the people sitting next to us, and he was like, "Hey, are y'all good? Do you have your stuff with you?" They're like, yeah. Right when they walked in, like, that's the first thing we did was grab our phone.
Mm-hmm.
And not even, like, a little bit of time had passed, and then Gabriel looks at me, and he says,
"Where's his phone?"
"I don't have my phone."
God damn it.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah, they... I mean, it's not like I didn't laugh at the time, but now I kind of do when he's not around, because I'm like, you're the one that was observing all of this, and you're the one who got it.
Fuck. That sucks.
Yeah, it was this huge bummer because he had all of his jokes written on there, all of his videos, because he did a comedy show in London. He did
too.
He
did.
Yeah, that's why we were in London twice, because when we flew into London, then we flew to Amsterdam, then we had to fly back to London.
Jeez.
Black. Back to London. Just for him to do a show.
That's crazy. You guys had a busy fucking time.
We did, yeah.
It sounded like it was, aside from the phone thing, it sounded like it was a blast.
It was. Everything was perfect until, like, that. And I kept telling him, at least it was at the end and not at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a little sad because all the pictures he had of me were gone in the catacombs, especially.
Oh, no.
And that's what he said. He's like, "Oh, babe, but all the pictures I took of you are gone now." I'm like, "Oh, it's okay." But he got them back, so he got the pictures
cloud
back. Yeah,
that's good.
So,
the good old cloud.
That's good. So just a little PSA: if you're traveling, just don't even mind people who look suspicious.
So the mumbo jumbo, was it just kind of like so they don't seem educated or something, or
to throw you off, to like get you to look at it and
focus.
try to read it? Yeah. Because what they do is they have the paper, they try to act like they're deaf and they can't speak.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes they sign, or sometimes they have that paper and it's not legible. Like, you can't understand it. Gotcha. It's nothing. Like, it's just a bunch of scribble. So when they bring in the paper, they put the paper down over I guess your belongings that are on the table, and then they take it. That's how they take it, is they cover it up with the paper.
That's sketchy, man.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Which sucks is I spent a whole month in London, and that never happened.
Yeah.
And I spent, like, a whole month in, like, Spain, too, and that never happened. Like, but I also am not aware of my surroundings, which may be a good thing, because I just wouldn't pay attention to them if that did happen. Like, get out of here.
But then that also sucks because people who really need help and are in situations where, they are actually begging because they need, help, they just
Probably
ruin
get
it for
ignored.
them.
Yeah.
Which is really sad, but that sucks.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure people who really are, like, my little brother is taking ASL in college, and one thing that they did discuss is that usually if somebody has, like, a handicap, they're handicapable, and they've gone through their whole lives, like, with the whatever it is that what they have, like, whether it be blindness or deafness, like, they've gone through their whole life, so they know how to navigate through life.
Yeah.
So when people notice that they are and try to help them, it's really, like, offensive.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Because I did see somebody who was clearly blind, like, there in London, and he was just doing his thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think he was lost, but
Oh.
he was still doing his thing. Like,
Yeah.
he wasn't asking for help or anything like these guys were trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just such a big bummer.
That sucks, man.
But that's like I kept saying, like, there's worse that could happen.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we're here.
Yeah,
We made
definitely.
it back.
You got back home safe and sound and all that, so that's good. But I'm glad, aside from all that, you guys had fun. So.
Oh, yeah, it was so much fun.
Yeah, that's good. And then I'm over here, Matt, last minute wanted to go to a freaking Kiss concert. And I'm like,
it was last minute? I thought it was planned.
no, it was last minute.
Oh, that's the best thing.
And he's like, hey, babe, like, Kiss is coming. It's their last concert and all this stuff. And I'm like, you're not going to find tickets, but whatever. If you can find tickets, fine. This bitch found tickets.
Did you not want to go?
I mean, I did, but then I also didn't want to spend the money on the tickets. But I was like, okay, whatever. Like, we'll go ahead and do it. So we went, and it was actually really fun. It was really good.
Oh, that's
like,
awesome.
I think I enjoyed more watching, like, their dance moves and all this in these big-ass platform boots. Like, it was really
doing
fun.
The thing.
Yes.
And they're like, how old?
They're old, man. They
That's
are
crazy.
old. And they sounded so good. Like, I thought they were going to sound kind of like off pitch. Like, you know, they're older. No, they sounded amazing. Like, it was so good.
That's cool. I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah. No, it was really fun.
Did anyone open for them?
He's a painter. He's that painter. He was on America's Got Talent, where he would paint upside down and then he'd flip it over and he would do paintings in like a minute. David Garibaldi? Garibaldi? Yeah. No, he was really good. Like, I was entertained watching him paint. So, it was fun. It was really fun.
So they had a painter as an opener.
Yeah, they had a painter as an opener.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they were blasting like a Ozzy Osbourne Crazy Train, and he was painting a picture of Ozzy, and like it was neat.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was really neat. So
I don't think I've been to a show with something other than music as the opener.
Yeah, because like when we went to Blink a couple of years back, they had a DJ open and all that.
Oh, I've had that with Snoop Dogg. There was a DJ because it was 2 Christmas ago, and that was my Christmas present to my mom.
Snoop?
I took her to see Snoop
That's
Dogg.
awesome.
Snoop Dogg, her and my little brother, and there was a DJ who just went on forever, and my mom, like, she just looked like she was not having a good time. She's like, "Where's Snoop Dogg?"
I want my Snoop Dogg.
She's like, "Why is this taking forever?" Because we stood there forever. But it was a good show, so it was worth it.
That's awesome. That's
so
cool.
There's like strippers, and my little brother's just standing there in between me and my mom, like,
I want to enjoy this.
It's the first set of titties I've seen, and I'm with you guys.
How old was he?
Oh, he's probably like 17, maybe.
Gotcha. I'm sure he'd seen other titties, but
I don't know. We haven't met my brother. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, probably.
That's funny.
I don't want to know though.
That's so funny. Yeah, and then what was I gonna say? Matt's favorite band of all time is Green Day. So I snuck in for some pre-sale, amazingly, and I got in and I scooped up some tickets. So that's not till next year, though. So
you're gonna have so much fun. Green Day was amazing. Like, I got tickets to sit, like, I was sitting up, not all the way up, but kind of like in the middle. I wasn't in the pit, and I tried so desperately to get in the pit,
just clawing your way down.
But the security, like, that show was so packed, it was impossible.
Oh, I bet.
For Blink-182, we jumped the fence and got in the pit, but or I don't know. I sound like I can jump a fence, but I just ran past security. No one cared. No one cared.
You're so short.
I remember you're like running and like nobody gives a shit.
That's funny. Yeah, but I'm excited for that. We're not in the pit, but we're like 14 rows behind the pit. So
oh, okay.
We're close.
Oh, yeah. You're so good.
Yeah. And, like, he loves Green Day, and then he loves Weezer, too, and they're going to be there.
Yeah, Weezer and Fall Out Boy.
Yes.
I like old Fall Out Boy.
I don't like their new stuff, but whatever. I'm going to have fun. I'll probably be drunk. I don't care.
Oh, yeah. No, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Well, now that we've chattered away and we've probably bored everybody.
Caught up, yeah.
Did you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
Well, mine's kind of lengthy, so we're gonna let's just save that one for the end.
Yeah, we can do that. So, do you want to hear a cryptozoology or do you want to hear a mystery?
Ooh, you're giving me choices?
Yes.
I'm kind of interested in this crypto that you
Yeah.
had the challenge of researching and writing about.
Yeah, so the crypto's pretty short. Matt actually picked it when we went to Austin. Oh my God, what was it, like a couple months ago already?
It feels like it was 2 weeks ago, but it was not.
No, it was like 2 months ago, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when we went to Austin, we went to that really spooky shop, and I picked up a cryptozoology book. So I decided to have Matt flip through it, and he found a crypto for me. I think he just kind of like flipped to a page and picked it because he didn't really care. But
So brave of you.
right?
I've been like, no, do it again. No, do it again.
I'm like, this? Really? And he's like, yeah, this. And I was like, okay, whatever. So, excuse my pronunciation because it's on an eastern island in Indonesia. So, bear with me. All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
So ready.
On the eastern Indonesian island of Flores lives the Nage people. And like I said, excuse my pronunciation. I tried to watch a bunch of videos, but even the supposed cryptozoologist scientists were butchering shit. So
It's all right. Mine's in German, so I'm not gonna apologize. Like, it is what it is.
So I promise I tried, but there was just so many pronunciations. I was like, what the fuck? So on the eastern Indonesian island of Flores lives the Nage people. Like many native tribes, they have their own rich history and traditions, and also legends. And one legend is of the Ibu gogo.
Ooh, sounds adorable.
Well, they're small creatures with a large appetite, like myself.
I can relate already.
And the name translates to granny who eats anything.
I'm going to make my grandkids call me that.
Ibu gogo.
Yeah.
So, they are small, elf or human-like. They have wide, flat noses, broad faces, large mouths, and hairy bodies. They have a prominent eyebrow ridge, very long arms, and pot bellies. And the females are said to have long breasts that they can sling over their shoulders.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know.
So when it's a hot day, just
fling it
flip
over.
those titties over.
Yep.
That's pretty convenient.
Maybe one day I'll get there. I mean, they're already kind of saggy, so maybe we'll get to Ibu gogo status one day, but... So they actually have their own language, and they're able to mimic human words, kind of like parrots. And they are often said to live in caves or in forests. They have never been seen using tools, but they are agile runners and climbers, and they do not use fire, and they prefer their food raw. But these creatures are apparently able to swallow puppy dogs, piglets, and small children whole.
Oh my god, I thought they were the size of puppy dogs and...
Well, they're like 3 or 4 feet, I think.
Oh, so they're like my height.
Our height. But legends of the Ibu gogo go back to the early Western exploration of Flores by the Portuguese in 1511 CE. And they heard that there was a tribe of wild men and women who stole food and kidnapped children. So, of course, they had to go and investigate, I guess. Poke
and
things.
what year was this again?
1511.
Wow.
Yeah, this was a long time ago. So the Ibu gogo have a negative image attached to them. They're considered really nasty, and they raid villages and steal food. And like I said before, they've been known to kidnap people.
They eat puppies. I think anything that eats puppies is going to be looked at as
no thank
bad.
you. So they're very mean, and they will chase people out of their territory. Which, I mean, same, because if anyone's around my house, I don't want them anywhere near it, you know? So I don't blame them for that. So the Nage are said to have a truce with the Ibu gogo. They do a lot of trading, and they used to do feasts together. But the Ibu gogo became really bold and devious in their ways. And they were even tolerated for destroying crops of the Nage people. But it wasn't until they were chased out for eating a baby that the Nage just didn't want anything to do with the Ibu gogo anymore. So when the village children began to go missing, the Ibu gogo were blamed, and the Nage then went about exterminating them. Now, in the 18th century, the Nage tricked the gogo into accepting a gift of clothing made from highly flammable palm fiber. The greedy gogo took the clothes into their caves, and the villagers threw torches in after them, which ignited the fibers to create a great fire that wiped out almost all of the gogos. Any survivors were supposedly hunted down and killed. But there have always been stories that a few of them managed to survive and slip out of sight to carry out their existence in the deepest jungles of the island.
So these people are known, or were known to truly exist.
Supposedly. And we're going to get into some science, actually.
Oh, okay. Not sightings, but science.
Well, a little bit of both, so.
Nice.
Okay. Let me see here. And perhaps some did survive because sightings began popping up in the 19th century, and a female specimen was actually captured in a village in 2004.
What?
Yep. And the main feature was her saggy titties.
What if it was just a poor old lady,
right,
like with saggy titties? Are like, oop, no, this is a cryptid.
She just wanted to flee. She just wanted to free the nips. Like, let her be. So, she had extremely long breasts that she could drape over her shoulders. And unfortunately, this mysterious woman, which I read a couple accounts that she was supposedly really beautiful. So, I don't know.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder,
I guess. But she did escape, and she fled back into the forest, so there's no way of knowing who or what she was. So, in 2003, there were remains of a new species of... Oh, goodness. Okay, bear with me here. When the remains of a new species of diminutive hominin was discovered in the Liangwu Caves of Flores Island, it was named the Homo florensis, and the skeleton remains showed a very small-bodied 3 to 4 foot high skeleton, and they nicknamed it the Hobbit. So they were now considered the Hobbits. And they are supposedly said to live on the island 12,000 to 13,000 years ago, meaning that they could have not only lived alongside Homo sapiens, but could have survived to the present day. And considering the size of the hobbits and the similarity in appearances to the Ibu Gogo, it could be them. So they're not really sure if these skeletons are the Ibu Gogo or if Ibu Gogo were just, myth, and maybe the hobbits were actually a thing. Who knows? But they're
just like incredibly tiny people.
Yeah. Now, there's a few problems with the idea of Homo florensis being the Ibu Gogo, and one is that recent research carried out in 2006 has perhaps pushed away the known extinction date of the florensis back from 12,000 to 13,000 years ago to 50,000 years ago. So now people are saying, no, it's not the hobbits, it's not Ibu Gogo, like, there's no way because it was so long ago. Mm-hmm. But that being said, there's so many species and creatures out there that are from so far back, it's not totally impossible.
Yeah.
So, research has shown that the Florensis hobbits are known to have used fire and tools, and that's something that the Ibu Gogo are not known for at all. So, is the Ibu Gogo based on a real animal? Gregory Forth, professor of anthropology at the University of Alberta, Canada, has said this. However, much of Ibu Gogo might recall Homo florensis, or vice versa, it is therefore clear that the first figure equally resembles characters that are generally considered to belong to myth and fantasy. Certainly, there are problems in interpreting Ibu Gogo as directly reflecting local memories of Homo florensis. Yet, whatever the derivation of the Nage representation, Ibu Gogo really do seem different from the various categories of spirits that Nage describe with equal credibility. And to that extent, I believe that the possibility that they represent a real animal and should be taken seriously. As noted, Nage themselves distinguish Ibu Gogo from spirits, and they do so explicitly with references to the hairy creature's lack of extraordinary powers, for example, the ability to disappear, change shapes, form into animals, and so on, end quote. So, another thing to consider is Flores is an island and therefore has limited natural resources. And insular dwarfism can happen with individuals with smaller bodies and therefore smaller metabolic needs. It is possible that a group of Homo erectus that made it to Flores evolved through dwarfism into Homo florensis. Were they once walking alongside us, or are they just myth? Do they still lurk in the forest, or is it just a case of dwarfism? Who knows?
What do you think?
I think it just has to do with the resources. But then you also have to consider these other villages that are on the islands. Do they have better resources? Like, can they get resources easier, so that's why they grow?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, because I always think Like, way back when, there were so many creatures and different types of people. And, oh my god, I hope an anthropologist isn't listening and like, actually, no.
These dumbasses.
Yeah, I took a biological anthropology my freshman year and got a C, so give me a break. My first C ever in life, and I was just, anyways. It's hard. But yeah, I could buy these little creatures or people living elsewhere or escaping and just living on their own, but wouldn't they like evolve also?
That's what I was thinking.
They probably did, but in a different way than the people who had different resources and who were able to live freely
and don't have saggy titties.
Yeah, that might have weighed them down in life.
Or maybe it could be like a different species of like ape or monkey, or if they don't use fire and they don't use tools. That's another possibility.
Yeah. Or they sorry to cut you off. They missed that memo. Like when fire happened or was created, like they didn't get that newsletter.
Or they still have that primal instinct where they fear fire and,
they just weren't there yet.
Yeah, so who knows? And it's for them to supposedly have these big old giant mouths. I mean, I would think some sort of animal, because I mean, if you look at like alligators and crocodiles and how wide they can open their mouths, we can't,
Oh, I definitely can't. I have the smallest mouth.
So I think it's just maybe some creature that we just haven't discovered yet, or have solid proof on, and maybe they just look more human than we're comfortable with, so we throw on this cryptozoology term just to kind of,
because we're unsure. We're not sure.
Yeah, make us feel better.
How do you spell it again? Like, I want to look at a picture.
Ebu is EBU space and then go.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not what I was picturing.
They look more like apes or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that, how they can be ape-like.
And we'll post a picture of them on Instagram for sure.
I'm just visual, and that's not what I was picturing, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It actually reminds me, so a long time ago, I don't know, I mean, I spent my days watching Travel Channel and History Channel back when it was good, and they would have like the like mystery or unknown like stories or shows. I can't not remember for the life of me what it was exactly, but I was so young. I was watching a TV show about these small creatures that lived in the mountains, and how they found like skeletal remains of these small creatures that lived in the mountains. I'm pretty sure I can just Google this and it would pop up. But I remember my dad took me on a skiing trip, like one of the only trips we went on, into the mountains, and we had a cabin up there, and I just kept on thinking about these little creatures. I'm like, oh my god, these little creatures are running around my cabin, probably just like staring at me.
You're all trying to look for them. And
I didn't even look. I just laid in bed. I was like, if it can't see me, if I can't see it, it can't see me. That's hidden. My approach. That's my approach to all things spooky.
That's funny.
All right. Well, good job. That was interesting.
Thanks. Nice, short, and sweet.
Yes. Well, I'm going to try to keep mine not so long. I have pages and pages of notes, but I think I can go through with giving you a general, or not a general idea, but the story without boring you with little nuances. So, when I was in Germany, I thought, hey, let me look up local spooky places.
Yes.
There was one near where we were. Dortmund and Loon is where we were staying at, around those cities. And there was a location near, but it's not like near here in Texas. Whenever like something's an hour away, it's like not that big of a deal. Like I literally drive here.
Yeah.
And it's not a big deal. But over there, it's like an hour away is really, really far.
Is it more like kind of like rural? Is that what?
Yes. Yeah. It's very rural. What they're known for in that area in Dortmund is their soccer field. Field, yeah. BVB. Now I'm a BVB fan, so.
How do you spell Dortmund and Loon?
Dortmund.
Dortmund?
MUND? Yeah, sure.
Oh, it's cute.
It was very pretty. It was so nice. Like, of course, my friends living there were like, it's not the greatest. I'm like, no, it's really nice. Like, it's so
cute.
Green and lush.
Yeah.
But we're in Germany. So I thought, sure, there has to be plenty of spooky because Germany, I mean, I didn't bring it up, but I was like, kept telling myself in my mind, like, don't bring up the Nazis, don't bring it up, don't bring it up. And I didn't. So I was very proud of myself.
Good job.
Yes. Not that I wanted to offend anybody, but, when you're there, you're like, I wonder if they, like, how they view this thing that happened in history.
I think I read a report where a lot of people are in, like, denial about it.
In Germany?
Mm-hmm. Like,
really?
A lot of people just don't pretend it never happened and it wasn't a thing.
Oh, wow. See, I think I read the opposite, where they, as in, like, the government and, like, their school systems know that it's extremely problematic to assume that it didn't happen. Mm-hmm. So it's like, bam, like, in your face, like, this happened, like, so we need to not do this again.
That's
kind of thing.
I feel like more locals kind of, like, deny it, and then, like, the government's trying to, like, no, like, you need to remember. So I can see that. But. Yeah,
because just, I didn't bring it up, but talking to the local law enforcement, who we spend a lot of time with, they're the ones that had mentioned it, because they're, like, the authorities still seen, and I don't think they're really seen as that, but I think when people get pulled over, they get pissed off, and that's just an easy jab to be like, oh, you're just a Nazi.
Yeah.
You're targeting me, when that's far from the truth. But Gabriel did ask one of our friends, like, so are they still here? Do they still exist, like, Nazis? And our friend replied, was saying, like, if they do, I hope they're not. I hope they're all dead.
Yeah.
Like, they're basically like, fuck those people. Like,
which is good. That's what you want.
It's very, like, hostile opinion, which is fantastic. Good. Like, I feel the same way.
Unlike fucking here, where people are just, ugh.
Yeah, and that's what I had mentioned. Like, I was like, oh, well, there's some people who, have those beliefs. They're like, yeah, the neo-Nazis, like, we know about them over there. And they're like, it's stupid. It's the worst thing ever. Mm-hmm. So the location I stumbled upon was pretty close, but we had such a packed schedule. I didn't want to be like, hey, take me to this haunted place.
Yeah.
Even though I really wanted to. Next time I'll be back.
Yes.
But this is a school / asylum.
Oh no, children.
It's gonna get bad.
Fuck.
It's bad.
Okay.
I think anything that, like, a lot of things that we talk about that have to do with, death is naturally heavy. But when it comes to children,
no, we learned with Andy.
It's just loaded. Like, it's just that times 10. Because these beings never got to live their full potential, and it's truly heartbreaking.
Just innocence.
Oh yeah. Well, it wasn't a school and asylum at the same time, so it was kind of a mix of people. Gotcha. But we'll get into it.
All right,
so
I'm ready.
We are traveling to Germany to the Waldniel Hostert School. That's what it's called. Well, it's Hostert. I'm just gonna call it Hostert. But in 1913, this location was built by the Franciscan order initially. And the role of these monks was to care for those who were mentally impaired and severely disabled. So it started off as a location that was trying to do good. Mm-hmm. However, they had a good run up until 1935, though. Between 1935 and 1937, the plant was highly fined due to currency violations. But in my mind, I'm like, was it though? Or were they like, hey, we're going to heavily fine you because we have some ideas brewing and we need this location. Yeah. So that's just me general. That's just me, like, thinking.
So supposedly they were, like, hiding funds or something, or they weren't paying, or...
Yeah, I guess, like, basically they were going bankrupt. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they didn't have enough money to keep up with all of the patients and everything needed. And so my notes, if I stumble, all of this was in German, and my Google translator translated a lot of this. I know, it's rough because of the kids, and it's rough because of the translations.
It's okay. After my Ibu Gogo stumbling, we're fine.
This is like the Rattler when it was still made out of wood. So one thing I really wanted to keep looking into, but I was like, nope, I need to just, like, stay focused. I looked a little bit, but couldn't find anything. But during this time, several monks were also charged with sex crimes during this time.
Oh no!
So it's like, okay, your time is over. Dang it! I shouldn't have brought up the Nazis because I was going to give you a history quiz and say what was brewing in the late 1930s.
Nazis.
World War Dos.
Fuckers.
Yeah. So, in 1937, the land and building was under the government's control, which we all know who ran the government at that time. So, Waldniel Hostert housed some of the most horrific treatment to humanity that happened during World War II. And this is all, my number one source for this is, of course, their website. So they do have an official government website because now it is like a memorial site for those who lost their lives due to these crimes.
So, sorry to interrupt, but is this on the level of like that Nazi doctor scientist dude? What the fuck's his name?
Oh my god. I was gonna say Joseph Stalin. Jesus Christ. Mengele. Joseph Mengele. But yeah, so he was like the worst of the worst. Gotcha. I mean, they were all pretty shitty. Like, really shitty. But he was the one that took it to the next level and did full-on experiments, too. Yeah,
so it's not on this level?
No, and we'll get to that. We'll get to exactly what happened, or what they did there. So, after the Waldniel Hostert fell under Nazi rule, the forced sterilization began.
No.
So that's what really they were known for, was sterilizing people and beginning those experiments to see what worked to then use elsewhere. So the Nazis propagated that the healthy people, quote unquote, according to the site, and spoke to their racial delusion. They took the disabled people. They took the right of life from disabled people, is what I wrote. So initially it was the mentally handicapped and the sick were forcibly sterilized. And of course later they started doing it to the races that they were trying to exterminate, because in their mind they were trying to eradicate the world of these people repopulating. Yeah. Which is...
That's foul.
That happens, like, in history, that's happened so many times that we don't even know about. Like, that's happened to, like, immigrants here in the United States. It's happened to just any type of minority that is being oppressed, because that's the one way to get rid of a whole group of people, is to make sure that they're not reproducing anymore.
That's so awful. My God.
Yeah. So, those that were sterilized were people of reproductive age with congenital nonsense, schizophrenia, hereditary epilepsy, or alcoholism. Fuck. I know. They'd be like, you're gone.
Yikes.
And adolescent hereditary blind people. Like, what? Like, these things aren't even...
That's fucked up.
Yeah. Epilepsy, like, that could be treated now. That's treated with a
medication.
Pill, but even then, like, that's not something you should, like, forcefully do to people with these conditions. But then, as this place was running, and the war was flourishing, the war continued to consume the country's resources. So they were facing supply shortages that affected the center. So the death toll began to take an effect because people were starving. And then on September 1st, 1939, Hitler issued what was known as the Euthanasia Decree. So this allowed, in the decree, it states that the power of designated physicians should be extended so that, according to human judgment, terminally ill patients could be granted the mercy sincere by the most critical judgment. So it was like loosey-goosey terminology. It's like, here you are, doing a good thing, releasing the ill, but later we'll see that they can easily just say this person was ill, so we had to do what we had to do, even though there was no proof to back it.
Your story's already making me mad.
It's not a fun time. These aren't good times.
Now, do you know if they use like any anesthetic, or was it kind of just like tough shit?
Tough shit, yeah.
Oh my God.
And especially if you read into or listen to Mengele's time in the world, that man worst. Didn't give any kind of anesthesia to any patient, and they were straight up having their limbs cut off and re-sewn back to other places. Ugh.
I remember hearing about that. Like, ugh.
That one was rough. Yeah, that is heavy. So even though we talked about the atrocities already, here's some more. So on the website, they give accounts of a handful of patients just to give a glimpse on what happened here and the type of treatment that these patients endured. So here they talk about a patient named Hubert. That's not his real name, of course, but he spent his life locked away. So, because when Hubert was born, he was deep blue and was just suffering a lot of seizures in his early years. So the doctors back then diagnosed him with idiocy. Yeah, like, that's so crazy that you can diagnose somebody like that.
Yeah.
So in the doctor's observations notes high-grade general motor unrest. He runs around hazardly. What he can catch, he tries to put in his mouth. Is not really a fix. He lays objects that are held up to him, touches them, or reaches for them. I'm like, wait a second. I have to pause right there. I'm like, so he's a fucking kid.
Yeah.
Like, these are all things that normal
children
do. Yeah. Speaks nothing, often makes clicking or smacking sounds with his mouth.
I do that.
You can hear me on this podcast clicking my mouth. And he really does spend his whole life in here. And throughout this whole time, his parents are concerned. His parents they have this feeling that he's not getting the medical attention he needs, and especially with the resources depleting, they're like, oh, he needs food. Like, our child isn't getting the nutrition that he needs. And the doctors kept reassuring them, yes, he's fine. See, like, he has all these conditions. It's because of his conditions. It's because of his conditions. When in reality, it's because of the conditions of the location and the treatments from the doctors.
So was this a place that once you were in there, you couldn't get out?
Basically, yeah. Like, there's one way you can get out, and that's
death.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So it records him. Okay, so here the parents are worried, like I talked about. They feared that their son Hubert was starving in Waldniel, Hostert, and they wanted him back to his old location. Because here they experienced a lot of transfers. So they would receive transfers from other locations. So at this time, they turned to Chief President of the Rhine province in Dusseldorf. In a letter dated on June 5th, 1941, he informs them that Hubert is properly cared for in Waldniel. And at this time, he weighed 40 kilograms. So he's telling the parents, like, here, look, he's healthy. He weighs 40 kilograms, which in here in the U.S. would be, wait, how is that right? That's 88 pounds. I'm like, whoa. Like, that's something to be...
How old was he at that time?
It was dated that he was... So the website says that this happened in 1941 when they wrote the letter. And then they say that same year that actually wasn't the reality of his weight. Like, it was much more severe than that, which I think 80 pounds is still pretty severe.
That's right. Well, it depends
for a 20-year-old.
Oh
my
yeah,
God.
no.
Sorry, I didn't say that. Yeah, because I was still kind of computing it in my head. I'm like, wait a second, you're right. This really doesn't make sense.
That's dangerous. Like,
yeah, so the body weight of the 20-year-old patient is correctly stated in the letter from the beginning of June. So that actually is how much he weighed. But then 1 month later, starting in July, he began rapidly losing more weight.
That's crazy.
So at the end of July, he weighed 30 kilograms, which is 60 pounds.
That's insane. And kind of like to put that in like more perspective, a 5-foot person is healthy weight is supposed to be like 90 to like 110 or some shit like that. So for a man in his 20s to be that light, like, that's deathly, sickly, like, no.
Yeah, that is, like, he definitely was not getting the treatment that he needed. And then whenever it says, let's see, in June, wait, what? See, I'm telling you, the German, like, because of the German translation, it just makes no sense.
You're fine.
But he ended up, passing away shortly after, of course, because of the malnutrition. And, but the way that the doctors just treated it was just not empathetic at all. Lacked basic human empathy, because they said that the death was heart failure.
Of course.
And people say that's like, no shit. Like, that's what happens when you die. Your heart fails. But what happened from that? And they just continue to say that it was seizures and his psychosis, and there was basically nothing that they can do.
Well, I believe if you are, like, that badly emaciated, I believe your heart can give you a heart attack because it doesn't have the sufficiency to run correctly.
Nutrition, then, or if your body's not properly running, is that what you mean?
Yeah. I think the heart, I don't remember what it is, but I think if you, like, exert too much at that point, you do have a heart attack. So maybe that's what they saw, and they're just ignoring the fact that he was starving to death, and they're like, heart attack, heart failure.
Yeah, without giving, like, more detail, like, it was due to lack of nutrition or anything like that. It's just an easy, like, slap on there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I'm definitely going to double check this, because now that I'm reading it out loud, I'm like, wait, none of this makes sense. But he did pass away a few months later in August, I'm seeing here. And then they list another child named L.H., who was a toddler that fell ill from a bad infection. And then she came to live there because she became mentally handicapped after the infection. So here she died of brain disease and double-sided pneumonia. And the father received the news that, his daughter had suddenly passed away. Outraged and stunned, he tried to hold those responsible to account. But it was in vain. Like, nothing was done. The doctors are completely safe and covered, and they continue to do what they did.
It's awful.
And she was only 12 years... she died right before her 12th birthday.
Aww.
So the doctor's responsible. Let's talk about these fine people. Just kidding. So one was Dr. George Reno, and he was... he worked in the hospital for the whole time, just about. He came from Austria. He had examined the patients who were then... He started examining patients and then gassed them with carbon monoxide.
Ugh.
So he was the one responsible for that. But one person in particular was not passive about these crimes, like, while working under him. And that was a nurse that they just called Nurse D. So on February 23rd, 1942... Dr. Reno asked to be taken to Schlotland to reinstate Nurse D. So nothing was really written in documents until this date, whenever he tried to go up to the authorities and be like, take this woman away. She's not responsive. She's trying to communicate with other doctors and other nurses, telling them not to perform perform what she needs to do. And he wrote that it can be assumed that D, the nurse, is aware of the task to be performed in the child's department. Nevertheless, and despite the fact that she has been a member of the party for a long time, she has expressed herself in a directly hostile manner against the measures to be carried out by satisfying in the course. So she was just like, you know what? I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And so he turned her over to authorities.
And she got arrested and all that? Or?
It does. Yeah, there's nothing that says they took her out, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
the only good person in there just gone.
Yeah, like, I thought I'd throw that in to show that there were some resistance. There were people in there noticing that things weren't right and that were trying to put a stop to it in the small way that they could. But during, of course, in that time, it was like the government stronghold against the people. Like, there was really nothing you can do or say. Herman Weiss was another doctor who worked in the hospital or the asylum at the time. He, with the help of 2 other nurses, had killed 30 handicapped children by administering the hypnotic luminol. The doctor declared that he had examined the individual children as prescribed by the Reich Committee in Berlin. So he was told to do these things, so he said, which I'm sure is true.
Yeah.
So laid down the findings and added it at the end a useful diagnosis for the Reich Committee. He was testing this out to hand over to them. So he would write that the people that, or the children that he uses, he would say, the child suffers from congenital nonsense, or a form of organic brain disease with nonsense, in the nature of idiocy. In the case of faint-heartedness, he wrote, the child is not capable of education. This was the death sentence for the child in the department. So that's all he could have said, was like, not capable, can't learn, so they should be experimented on, basically.
That's ridiculous.
So the children and adolescents, and this one gets a little rougher, as it's not been like a walk in the park this whole time.
Oh boy.
The children and adolescents intended to be killed initially received 3 to 5 luminol tablets, depending on their body weight.
Mm-hmm.
They fell asleep, but were given the same dose of luminol immediately after waking. Finally, they became unconscious, got shortness of breath, began to wheeze, and died under mucus discharge from their mouth and nose after 3 to 8 days.
Oh no.
So these poor souls, like, they suffered.
Yeah.
These children suffered. So this is what happened there. But at the beginning of 1943, Hostert was disbanded due to the war. So now that the war was finally coming to an end, so was the location.
Mm-hmm.
The remaining 183 children were transported to 5 other specialist departments, like, in the area. So those who survived were all moved to other locations. Herman Weiss, the fine gentleman that I just spoke of, who bastard, continued to work as a killing physician in the following years.
Killing physician, that's a nice term.
Yeah, so he continued to work, which is crazy. Dr. Renault left the children's department in Waldniel in early 1942 due to an open pulmonary tuberculosis. One later, he went back to another location. Only from 1961... in 1961, he was put on trial. In 1975, the case was finally closed because of the defendant's inability to negotiate, and he died in 1997. So at least he was put on trial. I don't know if Weiss was. I need to look that up. Oh, no, just kidding. He was released in custody in 1965. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Why would you... He was sentenced to life imprisonment in Dusseldorf in 1948. That was Weiss, but was released.
That's so stupid.
They should never be released. Like,
no.
They should, yeah. Terrible, terrible, terrible. So, almost there. Almost to the end.
This is so shitty.
In 1952, the site became a base for British and NATO forces, and Hostert became Kent School, which was equipped with a gymnasium and swimming pool, as well as a bus stops for bus. I cannot talk. Buses, lots of buses everywhere. Sorry. As well as bus stops for school buses. But during the redevelopment, human remains were uncovered. The bodies of the patients who had died or been killed at the Nazi-ran Institute, which had been housed here during the war.
So I doubt they had graves or anything, right? They were probably just pits.
Mm-hmm. So this was a mass grave, basically. So I think it was the little girl that we talked about. I think there's like a little... Her grave is there, but not really.
Gotcha.
You know, like they don't really know where it's located. But she died there, and now it's a big memorial for those who had lost their lives due to, like, under the hands of these evil doctors. When they were working on the land, they found bones of those who had died. As a result of the end of the Cold War, the site at Hostert was closed, and it was returned to German authorities. And I think I saw something where it's for sale, so if you have a few million euros laying around, it could be yours. I don't think you want it to be, though.
No.
So the reason, this is full of death and sadness and just horrible things, but what really makes this story boozy is that people say that you can hear the cries of children at the school, at the location, and it's not uncommon to see ghostly childish figures roaming around in the area.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
So sad.
So that's one of the most haunted locations in Germany. In case you're in Germany, I believe you can still visit. Like I said, it's just a big memorial now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and they're selling the memorial, kind of?
Or like the building. I think the building, but
Gotcha.
there's a memorial there. Yeah, the website was, a great resource. The website was awesome because it had all of the articles and, like the old documents scanned and stuff, of course in German. But for me, of course, it was a little hard to navigate. So at first when I saw it, when I was in Germany and clicked on it, I was like, oh, it looks like a museum. It looks like nice now, and they renovated it. But now reading, I'm like, okay, it might just be like the outside plaques. And
that makes sense.
Yeah, I can post pictures of what it used to look like and what it looks like now. And
we can link everything on the website.
Oh, for sure. And then Baylor University has the euthanasia decree. If you're into reading that, we could put that up there as well. And then yes, so I used, what did I use? The Waldniel Hostert website, this haunted history page on Facebook to try to make sense of it all, and Culture Trip. It had like a paragraph. Yeah, because at first I was just finding paragraphs. I'm like, man, this is gonna be real short. Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, hey, there's this place, kids haunt it, check it out. But no, there was so much that went into it, or there was just a lot of information out there about the location, and
just put in different areas, and you just had to piece it together.
Yeah. Which the website did. Yeah, good source. It's a great source.
I can't even imagine like the energy you would get from like a place like that, you know?
Yes. I was reading a comment on Facebook on the on the location. This is by Douglas on the Haunted History Facebook page. It says, I was there 86 between 91. We weren't allowed up to the upper floors, but of course we had to go. I tried once, got so far before this feeling came over me. As it got more and more decrepit, I ran back down for my life. The further I went up, the further back in time you went. Like wheelchairs, beds, Nazi graffiti, and the feeling you were being watched. I wish now I'd push on, but I was only 16, and I only knew a couple of the basic historical facts. Then, as most were hushed up, I'd give anything to go back and finish my quote-unquote tour.
That's crazy.
And this was a school. Like, people are saying, oh, this was my old school. Politicians in Europe went there, and because it was a NATO base also. So if the parents were relocated or were in some other location, and the children needed to go to school, it was a boarding school also. So they were able to stay there, which is insane. I'm pretty sure they didn't know, like the kids who were there didn't know what had happened. That was back way before internet, so it wasn't like, oh, let me Google this place. And
still makes you question if the parents know, though, like, oh, hey, like, you're just going to stay here at this boarding school.
Here's another comment. I went to this school. They didn't do a particularly good job of hiding it all, neither.
I assume they had sections blocked off.
Well, I don't know. According to this, they just said you couldn't go. You couldn't go up there, but you easily could.
Do you have a picture of the place?
Yeah, here's...
Oh, no.
It looks haunted, right?
Oh, I mean...
You look at this place and you're like, oh, yep, that's haunted. But on the website...
It's pretty.
Pretty scary.
But, fuck, no.
And this was... But this is the website, which is crazy, because the website makes it look like bright and sunny, and... Well, maybe not this one, but... Yeah.
Yikes.
It was really... Oh, yeah. So, I guess here's the memorial. It's like a wall.
Oh.
See? It looks like, oh...
So fun. Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's basically like, when you think
that
of
place
it...
has a big nope stamped right over it.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And I'm sure the monks never imagined that a place that they wanted to help would just turn into this horrible, awful...
This place where so much evil happened. Well, I guess some of them kind of set the tone with their sex crimes.
Oh, yeah.
Next time I might go.
Creep upstairs.
Like I said, ghosts don't want me, so it's fine. I'm fine. I say that, knock on wood.
All the banners for your birthday fall off.
Yeah, everything falls. Balloons pop. No, I'm terrified of popping balloons. Like, balloons that pop, that scares me the most. So yeah, that's my little trip. Maybe
that was a good
story. Done that first.
Maybe we should have.
My bad. I was just a little unsure of how it was gonna go, so I'm like, let's wait.
Yeah, well,
your saggy tits would have lightened up, but not yours, but the story.
No, I mean mine are pretty saggy, so
it would have lightened the mood a bit.
The curse of big boobs.
I know.
So, yeah, it sucks. But anyways, as I was saying before about birthday banners, you totally didn't even mention it was your birthday recently.
Oh, yeah, which is strange that I didn't, because I'm really obnoxious about my birthday. I'm like, I'm really not. I'm like, maybe I am. I don't know. I don't think I'm an obnoxious person, but when it comes to my birthday, I'm like, birthday month.
It's my birthday. Yeah.
Birthday month. Yeah. I listened to September like almost every day.
I saw your post and I was dying.
We were having breakfast. Gabriel walks in. He's like, are we going to listen to this all day? I'm like, uh-huh.
That's so funny.
But yeah, Nosim was awesome. She decorated our little pod area with balloons and banners and made me this amazing wreath. I'll have to show y'all how talented she is. Oh, it was the sweetest thing. Thank you again.
You're welcome. I couldn't not do anything. Like, what the fuck?
And let me tell y'all, when Sam does something, she goes all out. It's not like, oh, I did a thing. It's like, I did, like, all these things. It's, like, extra in the best way, though.
Yeah, like my Halloween decorations.
Hey, that's fine. It's officially spooky season, though.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
it's the best time of the year. I need a Halloween version of that song.
Yeah, screw Christmas. I'm all about Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
That's my thing.
Me too.
I have a Halloween tree up this year. So
I did see that. It's very lovely.
Yeah, and it glows purple at night. So, yeah.
Are you gonna? So when Christmas rolls around, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna keep it?
I'll probably do Christmas ornaments. We have Christmas ornaments. We have like Star Wars ornaments and nerdy ass ornaments we'll throw on there. But I'm thinking I'll keep it up for Thanksgiving too. But I'm just gonna pull off all the Halloween ornaments and throw like sunflowers and like pumpkins and stuff like that on it.
Gotcha.
Kind of do like a Thanksgiving tree. I don't know. I'm too lazy to take it down now that it's up. So
holiday trees are in.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of people doing them. Show us your holiday trees, people.
Yes.
I want to see the holiday trees. It takes me forever to take down my Halloween decorations. Like last year, I just put a Christmas hat on my ghost.
Hey, it works.
I was like, here it is.
It works.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for listening to another. Wait. What episode is this?
Oh my god, I don't even.
Holy shit.
Well, insert the
episode
5. Like, no, it's way more than 5.
6.
Yeah. We'll add it in later.
Apologies.
It's been a while. It's been weeks.
Yes. But you guys can find us at Booze Podcast on all the socials.
Yes.
That is a BOOZ podcast.
Instagram.
Facebook.
Twitter.
Where
else?
Whatever. YouTube. These are actually be on YouTube.
So, we really at first I was unsure of what we would put on YouTube, but it's a little like surprise maybe. It's in the works that we might have some comics playing with a Ouija board.
We will see.
And if that happens, which
we got to battle it out with Gabriel first.
Oh yeah. There might be a lawsuit and a divorce coming up. But if not, then it'll be on YouTube.
Yes, there will be definitely some stuff on YouTube, so keep tuned. Stay tuned for that. Jesus.
Yeah, and if you have anything you want to tell us or anything you want to share, any of your spooky experiences, slide into them DMs.
On all the socials, or you can just email us at boozepodcast@gmail.com.
That means send us a message if you're not.
Yeah, but no dick pics, please.
Oh my god, I don't know what I would do. That's probably the scariest thing that would ever happen to me.
They put a little like ghost sheet on it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
That's illegal now in Texas.
Oh, is it?
Yes, you can sue now if you get an unsolicited sex.
Okay, if you're rich, please send us your dick.
Whoa.
I'm just kidding.
We need to buy more Halloween decorations.
Yes. We'll just buy a mansion and put all the Halloween decorations in there.
Buy us a haunted mansion.
Yes. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode.
Yes, we will catch you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.